So sadly, it exists because there is a demand, and the demand unfortunately produces a lot of money. And so it continues to be a $150 billion industry worldwide. Here within the United States, what we have calculated, it's about a $32 billion industry. Florida, are number 3 in the country for trafficking. And within Florida, Miami is actually number 1 for trafficking.
Why do you think it's number 1 for trafficking in Miami?
So, people ask that. And if you think of Miami, why do people come to Miami? Mm-hmm. We are, a fun city. We have beaches, we have South Beach, we have partying, we have Super Bowls, we have Jennifer Lopez, we have, so many amazing things here in Miami that attract that tourism industry. And within that tourism industry, unfortunately, there is a demand, for sex and looking for sex and paying for sex. And so because of that demand, that actually puts us in a very high spot for traffickers to want to bring that demand and supply that demand, here in Miami, Florida.
So during the pandemic, we've been at home in quarantine. Did trafficking stop?
No, absolutely not. Traffickers remember, this is their industry. This is where they make money. And no matter what we try to do, many times we've, worked on combating things online and trying to create laws to combat sex trafficking online. And they find another avenue, they adapt. There's a lot of ways to adapt the industry. And so even though we are all at home, it actually has really increased the danger for children, because now what are children doing when they're stuck at home most of the time? They are glued to their social media devices, and it creates the perfect avenue for traffickers to unfortunately lure children, and a lot of sextortion actually going on within the internet.
Got you. So if it's been on the internet, how do we protect ourselves and our youth in that way? Because
it's hard, and especially now during the pandemic, and I think all of us that are probably sitting here watching know how difficult it is when we're home with our children and we're trying to work, or maybe now we're out of work and we're trying to find a job, and our children are trying to do their homework and they have to do it all online. And, how do you constantly supervise, these social media devices? But part of it is that, there are parental controls, there are monitoring systems, for social media apps on children's phone, and also taking them away, always keeping your social media devices, or when your children are on social media devices, keeping it within a public area within your home is extremely important, because when they know that they're being watched, they're going to be much more careful. And obviously talking to your teenagers about this topic and these issues, and that this absolutely exists, and this does not only exist from, the movie Taken, where it's foreign, children that are lured into trafficking. This is a local problem. Within the program at Project Gold and the drop-in center that we have, I don't see 95% of all of our cases of trafficking for children are local children. We are located in Little Haiti, and all of the girls that come to the program, are local girls, with a very, very, very small percentage of children that are born in another country.
Mm-hmm. So I know the topic has gone from easy. I used to sell drugs, and that's how I used to get my money. And you get rid of drugs, and then you just have to acquire more drugs to sell drugs. Unlike a human being, where
you can resell over and over,
can be resold over and over.
Absolutely.
So is that what we're seeing here in Miami?
Absolutely.
Is that the reason our statistics are going up?
It's not, it's not just, sadly, I wish it was just Miami. This is a global issue, and traffickers, that obviously were trafficking drugs. As you stated, they can sell that drug one time. They can sell a gun one time. Trafficking now has been climbing in terms of, you know, trafficking, you know, it's now going into human trafficking, and sex trafficking is going into that #1 spot versus drug trafficking, or arms trafficking, you know, because of, you know, the fact that you can continue to resell someone over and over again, sadly.
Sadly.